This story takes us to the summer of 2021. When I was 23, I was fishing alone on the Big Sandy River in eastern Kentucky. It was about 7 p.m., and I had hiked down to this quiet bend in the river where the banks were steep and overgrown. It's the kind of spot you don't just stumble across. You have to kind of know it's there. I'd been out for maybe an hour and caught a couple smallmouth. Nothing serious. The air was still and humid, and the only sounds were cicadas and water moving past the rocks. Out of nowhere, I noticed something strange. Muddy footprints a few yards down the bank. They weren't boot prints like you'd expect near a fishing hole. They were barefoot, large and fresh. At first, I figured a local kid had come through swimming earlier. But as I fished, I started realizing something unsettling. The prints didn't come to the water. They ran parallel to the shoreline, shadowing the exact stretch where I was standing. About 10 minutes later, while I was retying a lure, I heard it. A branch crack, just up the tree line above me. I froze, rod in hand, listening. Then came the sound of leaves shifting, slow, like someone was moving carefully. I tried to convince myself it was a deer, but then I heard it again, this time in rhythm with my steps when I shifted down the bank. I'd walk 3 paces, hear 3 crunches in the brush following me. The sun had just about dipped below the ridge, and it was getting hard to see. I packed up fast, but the problem was the trail back to my truck went uphill into the woods. No open line of sight. As I climbed, my gut told me I wasn't alone. Every few seconds, snap, shuffle, snap. I broke into a jog. My heart was pounding. By the time I reached the clearing where I'd parked, I was soaked in sweat. I fumbled with my keys and turned for just a second. My headlights lit the edge of the trail. Standing there, at the tree line, was a figure. Tall, barefoot, motionless, just watching me. This happened back in 2016 when I was 21. My uncle took me and my cousin on a fishing trip deep in the Appalachian backwoods of West Virginia. We drove for hours down gravel roads until we reached this remote lake. Locals called it the Drowned Hole, because decades ago, they flooded an entire valley to make it. The lake was eerie from the start. Dark water, no boats, no sound, but the occasional splash of a fish. Old dead trees just jutted up through the water, their gray trunks sticking out like grave markers. By late afternoon, we had paddled out in this aluminum john boat. We were catching small bass when the wind died down and the lake went unnervingly still. And that's when I noticed something. Beneath the surface, maybe 6 feet down, there were shapes. Not fish. Bigger. Almost like beams of wood or foundation. My uncle told me it was the remains of a house, barns, even a church, still sitting at the bottom of this lake. As the sun set, fog rolled in across the water. It was thick, heavy, and within minutes we couldn't see the shoreline. That's when we started hearing it. A hollow knocking, echoing up through the water, like someone banging on wood. At first we thought it was a boat creaking, until it came from beneath us. My cousin leaned over with a flashlight, shining it down into the water. What we saw made our stomach drop. There was a roofline directly below us, a submerged house, and that knocking, yeah, it was coming from inside. We paddled hard, but the fog was disorienting us. Twice we thought we reached the shore, only to find ourselves circling the same patch of dead trees sticking out of the water. The knocking continued, sometimes louder, sometimes softer, but always beneath us. By the time we finally found the boat ramp, it was pitch dark. We dragged the boat onto the trailer and didn't speak the whole ride back. I haven't fished that lake again, and sometimes I wonder what would have happened if we stayed out there longer over that house, and if something was still down there, trying to get out.